Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV. Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Marks.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT+1, that is 11 a.m. GMT+1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth.
Welcome to News Desk.
You're welcome to Celebration Television News Desk. I am Nicholas Akosile Walter. I do hope you really had a wonderful weekend. And over the weekend, we had some interesting news headlines. Any politician that tries violence will be dealt with. Apostle Johnson Suleiman. Tunisian president condemns results attack. And on Brexit, ministers plans law overriding part of withdrawal deal. Nigeria is set to gain as Central Bank of Nigeria resumes forex sales. And Fati becomes Spain's youngest goal scorer and breaks 95-year record. Please stay with us as we bring you details of our news after this short break. All right, thanks for staying with us. And now the news in details. International flights resume as Middle East Airlines plane lands at Lagos Airport. After a 5-month closure of the Nigerian space to schedule international flights due to lockdown occasioned by the coronavirus pandemic, foreign travel resumed in the country when an aircraft operated by Middle East Airlines touched down at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. The plane, which took off from Beirut, Lebanon, landed at the airport at exactly 2:27 p.m. Two other airlines, including Delta and British Airways, are also expected to begin flight operations at the airport today. The Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, is also expected to reopen for international flights. Earlier on Friday, an inspection team from the Lagos State government visited the MMIA to ascertain its readiness to resume flight operations. The team included Lagos State Deputy Governor Bafemi Hamzat, the State Transportation Commissioner Frederick Oladende, as well as the State Health Commissioner Akin Abayomi, amongst others. They were led around the various facilities in the airport by the Managing Director of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, Captain Hamisu Yadudu, and the airport manager, Victoria Shinaba, alongside other officials. The FAA and as the fan bus had disclosed Friday that Middle East Airlines would operate the first flight into the country today. The country's airspace and airports had been shut to flight operations in March to curb the spread of the lethal coronavirus disease, which as of Saturday has killed over 1,000 people in Nigeria. The federal government subsequently approved the restart of domestic flights from July 8, adding that effective September 5th, international flights will resume with the two airports. The Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, had said there would be sanctions for non-compliance with the guidelines on the part of the approved airlines and the passengers. He said passengers who fail to comply with the COVID-19 protocol put in place to curb the importation of the virus would be suspended from traveling for 6 months, while airlines that fail to comply will pay a fine of $3,500 per passenger. Moving forward, federal government of Nigeria spends 5 billion naira monthly on IDPs, says Senate panel. The Senate Committee on Special Duties has revealed that the federal government spends 5 billion naira monthly to cater for the victims of insurgency in the Northeast. The chairman of the committee, Senator Yusuf, disclosed this in an interview with journalists on Friday in Abuja on the outcome of his panel members' recent visit to the Northeast geopolitical zone. Yusuf explained that no amount of resources was adequate to sustain the 2.7 million displaced persons in the various camps. He lamented that most of the victims of insurgency were actually eager to return home and fend for themselves, but many of their villages were still inaccessible. He noted with concern that Nigeria might witness a major crisis from the IDPs who were mostly orphans below the age of 18 if nothing was done to get them back to their villages. On the Water Resources Bill, Yusuf assured Nigerians that the proposed legislation would be subjected to serious scrutiny when it comes to the Senate for concurrence. He said he would not support any law that was not in the interest of Nigerians. The senator said, you know, they have little difference in the way they do their bills. And on other stories quickly, any politician that tries violence will be dealt with, Apostle Johnson Suleiman. As the election approaches, violence has never been an option for a free and fair election in any country without the exception of Edo State of Nigeria. On Sunday, 6 September 2020, the governor of Edo State, His Excellency Godwin Nogagase Obaseki, and his deputy, Honorable Philip Shaibu, visited the headquarters of Omega Fire Ministries for spiritual guidance and covering for the forthcoming election of the state slated for the 19th September 2020. However, last Sunday, 30th August 2020, the governorship aspirant of Edo State, Pastor Izeyamu of the APC, the All Progressive Congress, was also present at Omega Fire Ministries headquarters for the same purpose, knowing fully well that the house of God is for all. On the arrival of the governor, the senior pastor of Omega Fire Ministries, Apostle Johnson Suleiman, made profound statements on the state's security and well-being, stating that the church has authority to deal with any politician that promotes violence because the spiritual controls the physical.
Listen to me. I have said before, and I'll say it again. Violence will not work. And I'm saying this, the church has authority. The spiritual controls the physical. Any politician that tries violence, we will deal with that person on our knees.
Meanwhile, the Restoration Apostle prayed for Governor for the governor and his deputy for God's protection and guidance all through the electioneering period. And quickly coming from around Africa, Keita must return home after 3 months treatment, says military. Mali's ousted President Ibrahim Boubacar Keita has a maximum of 3 months to return home after receiving medical care abroad. The colonels who overthrew the 75-year-old leader last month has said. Keita, who suffered a mini stroke last week, flew out of Mali late on Saturday for treatment in the United Arab Emirates. The time limit was agreed by the new junta and the regional group in the Economic Community of West African States, which has been mediating in the former French colonies' months-long crisis. The ailing former leader was allowed a month away to be extended to 3 months solely on medical advice. The junta, the National Committee for the Salvation of the People, said in a statement. Keita was ousted 2 years into his second 5-year term. In the weeks before the coup, he had been struggling with protests fueled by his handling of jihadist insurgency and failure to turn around Mali's floundering economy. The CNSP said ECOWAS agreed to ensure that Keita will return home as soon as his medical stay was completed. And still, from around Africa, Tunisian president condemns result attack. Tunisian President Kais Saied condemned the attack in the coastal resort town of Sousse that killed one security officer and injured another. 3 suspected Islamic militants who rammed their vehicle into security officers and attacked them with knives were shot dead by Tunisian forces, authorities have said. An Interior Ministry statement said that the assailants took refuge in a school after the attack and died in a shootout with security forces. The North African nation's Prime Minister Hicham Mechichi appeared to suggest that the assailants planning may have been faulty. The previous attack in Sousse on June 26, 2015 dealt a heavy blow to Tunisia's tourism sector and the pillar of its economy. And the Islamic State group claimed responsibility for that attack. Police officers and forensic workers could be seen examining the site after the attack. Sousse was the site of Tunisia's deadliest extremist attack in 2015 when a message killed 38 people, most of them British tourists. An Interior Ministry statement said Sunday that the assailants took refuge in a school after the attack and died in a shootout with security forces. A North African nation's Prime Minister, Hicham Mechichi, appeared to suggest that the assailants' planning may have been faulty. We'll go on a short break. We'll come back. We'll bring you updates from the United States of America. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Marks.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk.
Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1, that is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth.
Welcome to the official podcast platform of Apostle Johnson Suleiman, AJS Daily. You will get daily series of profound teachings and anointed prayer series to build your faith and bless your life, move you from where you are to where you are to be. You will be equipped with the undiluted word of life, strong and imperative enough to help you achieve all-round success. These and more will be made available to you on this platform by the Restoration Apostle, #AJS Daily. You can listen and connect with AJS Daily on Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Google Podcast, Amazon Alexa, and as well as Stitcher and many more. AJS Daily for your all-round success.
I'm from Mars.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1. That is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk. The whole truth.
All right, thanks for staying with us. Now, updates from the United States of America. Jacob Blake sends message to supporters from hospital. Jacob Blake, the black man who was shot 7 times by a white police officer in the U.S. state of Wisconsin last month, has said he is in constant pain in a video posted online. Mr. Blake, whose family said may now be paralyzed from the waist down, also struck a hopeful note saying there was a lot more life to live. The 29-year-old was shot in the back as he was being arrested. This incident reignited protests over racism and police brutality in the U.S. Some of the protests in Kenosha, the city where Mr. Blake was shot, turned violent, with 2 people killed. An investigation into Mr. Blake's shooting continues. Meanwhile, Mr. Blake appeared in a court on Friday pleading not guilty to criminal charges filed before the shooting. In a video posted on Twitter by his family's lawyer, Mr. Blake, still in his hospital bed, spoke of the pain he was suffering. He said every 24 hours is pain, nothing but pain. It hurts to breathe, it hurts to sleep, it hurts to move from side to side, it hurts to eat. Both President Donald Trump and Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden have since visited the city. Mr. Biden spoke over the phone with Mr. Blake and met his relatives. He has called for the officer who shot him in the back to be arrested. The president did not meet Mr. Blake's family, saying it was because they wanted lawyers' presence. Quickly, more updates from the United Kingdom. On Brexit, ministers plan laws overriding part of withdrawal deal. Ministers are planning new legislation that will override a key part of last year's European Union withdrawal agreement. The move will eliminate a requirement for new Northern Ireland customs arrangements which were intended to prevent the return of Czechs at the border with the Irish Republic. Labour Shadow Health Secretary Jonathan Ashworth accused the Prime Minister of backtracking of his promises. Downing Street said it was a standby plan in case trade talks fail. And Boris Johnson is expected to say later that if no agreement is reached by 15th October, both sides should move on. The Prime Minister will tell European Union counterparts that completing the UK's exits from the bloc without a trade deal would still be a good outcome. It comes after UK Chief Negotiator David Frost said the UK was not scared of walking away. Although the UK formally left the European Union in January, it has continued to follow rules set in Brussels during a transition period which ends in December, while discussions over a long-term trade agreement continued. Another round of talks, the 8th begins on Tuesday, aimed at securing a deal to allow companies in the European Union and UK to trade without taxes or custom checks. Quickly, on business news, Naira set to gain as CBN resumes forex sales. The resumption of forex sales to the Bureau de Change operators by the Central Bank of Nigeria today will strengthen the exchange rate of the Naira to the dollar according to the operators. In a circular, the Central Bank of Nigeria had announced plans to resume sale of foreign exchange to BDCs today as part of efforts to enhance accessibility to foreign exchange. The naira, which traded on the parallel market at 420 naira to a dollar on Friday, sold for 480 naira a week earlier. The President Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria, Alhaji Aminu Guadabe, expressed support for the Central Bank of Nigeria action on forex sales. According to him, speculators in the forex market had been dealt a huge blow with the sharp drop in the exchange rate, which he said will continue to downward trend with the resumption of international flights in and out of the country. The Director of Corporate Communications Department of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Isaac Okorafor, assured that those requiring foreign exchange for purposes of travel, educational fees, and other invincibles could obtain such over the counter from their respective banks. And quickly, still on business news, knocks for federal government over petrol price, electricity tariff hike. The federal government on Sunday came under more criticism for the increase in electricity tariff and petrol pump price last week. The Center for Democracy and Development and the Civil Liberties Organization condemned the government's actions, saying many Nigerians will be hard hit. The CDD, a civil rights movement, expressed its support for citizens' resistance against all anti-people policies, using all constitutional options, including peaceful mass protest and litigation. The organization, in a statement by its director, Idayat Hassan, on Sunday regretted that at a time when governments around the world were enacting policies and putting in place measures to cushion the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on citizens, the Nigerian government has chosen to do the direct opposite. According to Hassan, the CDD is convinced that the government should have found other creative, sustainable, and logical pathways to address the issues which necessitated the price hikes. The chairman, CLO Rivers State, Sotonye George, said on Sunday in Port Harcourt that poor Nigerians will be the worst hit by the effects of electricity tariff and fuel price hikes. We'll go on a short break. We'll come back. We'll bring you news from the sporting world. We'll be seeing how Djokovic is out of US Open after hitting line judge. Stay with us and don't go anywhere.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femima.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT+1, that is 11 a.m. GMT+1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femima.
Welcome to the official podcast platform of Apostle Johnson Suleiman, AJS Daily. You will get daily series of profound teachings and anointed prayer series to build your faith and bless your life, move you from where you are to where you are to be. You will be equipped with the undiluted word of life, strong and imperative enough to help you achieve all-round success. These and more will be made available to you on this platform by the Restoration Apostle, #AJS Daily. You can listen and connect with AJS Daily on Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Google Podcast, Amazon Alexa, and as well as Stitcher and many more. AJS Daily for your all-round success.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femima.
Rules for both the game.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk.
Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1. That is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk. The whole truth.
Welcome to
You're welcome, Sports News. Djokovic out of US Open after hitting line judge. Novak Djokovic was sensationally disqualified from the US Open on Sunday after striking a female lines official in the throat with a ball. The world number one went 5-6 down in the first set to Spain's Pablo Carreno Busta when he hit the ball in disgust in the direction of the official. Djokovic appeared to be looking away from the official at the time, but he hit the ball with considerable force, and when he struck her, she could be heard gasping and coughing. The official fell to the floor of the attaché court, clutching her throat. Djokovic rushed over to check that she was okay. He put his hand on her shoulder as she appeared to be struggling to catch her breath. After a few minutes, she got up and walked off the court. Following around 10 minutes of discussion with the rules officials, the umpire declared that Carreno Busta had won by default. Djokovic then shook hands with Carreno Busta, but not with the official in the umpire's chair as he left the court looking bewildered. The Serbian star is only the third player in Grand Slam history to be disqualified out of a men's single tournament following John McEnroe at the Australian Open in 1990 and Stefan Kovac at the French Open in 2000. Rivals and former players reacted with shock after the disqualification. In another sports news, Fatih becomes Spain's youngest goal scorer and breaks 95-year record. Ansu Fati announced his arrival in international football on Sunday after becoming the youngest goal scorer in the history of the Spanish national team in a 4-0 thumping of Ukraine that put them top the UEFA Nations League group. Barcelona forward Fatih put Spain 3 goals ahead after just 31 minutes of the League A Group 4 clash at the empty Alfredo Di Stefano Stadium in Madrid, with a fine individual strike that came amid a scintillating debut start for his adopted country. Aged 17 years and 311 days, Fatih, who was born in Guinea-Bissau and obtained Spanish nationality a year ago after moving to Spain when he was 7, beat the previous record held by Joan Erasquin, who actually scored 3 goals aged 18 against Switzerland in 1925. Having already won the penalty that Captain Sergio Ramos converted just 2 minutes after kickoff, he could have scored just minutes before finding the net when his close-range bicycle kick was unwittingly cleared just as it looked to be heading in Fatih's strike, a super calling shot after fine footwork on the edge of area came just 3 minutes after Ramos had put Spain 2 up with a beautiful looping header from Dani Olmo's cross. Substitute Ferran Torres completed the route 5 minutes from the end. The easy win leaves Spain top of Group 4 on 4 points, 1 ahead of Sunday's opponents, but more importantly, 2 in front of Germany, who were held to a second consecutive 1-1 draw, and this time with Switzerland. And that has brought us to the end of the news on Celebration Television News Desk. In case you're just joining us or you actually missed out on our news, this is the recap of the news headline. violence. Any politician that tries violence will be dealt with. Apostle Johnson Suleiman. Tunisian president condemns resource attack. And on Brexit, ministers plan laws overriding part of withdrawal deal. And Naira set to gain as CBN resumes forex. Fatih becomes Spain's youngest goalscorer and breaks 95-year record. Quickly, we have photo of the day. Can you see that? It states that people who make others happy are usually the most broken ones. You say, can you see different types from the other one that's consoling the other? That's true. People who actually are making others happy now have had lots of experiences. As such, they are the most broken ones. You can drop your comment on our social media platforms. On Facebook, Celebration TV. Instagram, My Celebration TV. Tweet at us at My Celebration TV. YouTube, Celebration TV. Remember that the continuous transformation of our society is a collective responsibility of all. No matter the office you hold as a nation's president, a thought leader, an opinion molder, a character builder, a professional, or as a person pursuing passion, you have a duty to give your all to making the society a better place for us and the generations to come. Play your part today and do it with all diligence. Thanks once again for staying with us on our news desk. I remain Nicholas Akosile Walter. Do have a blessed day.